Hey there everybody, Great Basin Prospecting here, and let's go rockhounding. So we're going somewhere very cool that I have never been to today, and that is a place called Gemfield. It is near another place called Goldfield, so you can get an idea of what's going on in the area there. This is the road that is leading up to Gemfield. There's a nice donkey we saw. There's a sign for the claim there. It's got information on it, as well as how you pay for the material that you find. It's $1 a pound is the request, which is super reasonable for what the material is because it is amazing. And I'm zooming in on the map here. They even give you an idea of where to find the material. This is a high grade and example table by the sign, and here's me getting to it for the first time. Look at this.
Wow. Pretty.
That's gonna be great. Look at that purple. Hey everybody, here at Gemfield, Nevada. Just parked the car and already there is just amazing stuff just right here by the road. I mean, look at that. Or this. Or any of the stuff. I mean, holy cow. Like, look at that. Wow, wow, wow. Yeah, this is going to be really cool. It was pretty windy, so the audio didn't come out great on the rest of the clips, so I'm just going to do a voiceover. This one was like a cotton candy type rock, or that's how I thought of it. Pinks and purples and whites and some yellows there. Here, I'm trying to just do a slow motion zoom in on just the material field just to show how cool it is, but I'm not sure that turned out how I wanted it to. Here you can see there's just material everywhere. You can get to where there are ridges or outcrops of the material. Zooming in here, you can see we've got a lot of purple with fracture lines running through it, as well as reds and orange and pinks. Just really pretty. We'll do another zoom in here on this other outcrop, and you can see there's a lot of really bright and brilliant colors and some cool patterns as well. Here's another standalone boulder with some of that kind of cotton candy colors. I don't know if that's a heat wave that's affecting the camera there, but just really nice pinks and purples and lavenders. And again, just looking at some of the material that's around, you can just see really pretty stuff. That one even had a little bit of green in it, and this is not the green area. As you can see, there's a lot of purples here, which I thought was really cool. So we'll get into some of the rocks that I ended up taking home. Oh yeah. Look at that. The thing that looks like it may be some sort of upper body support is actually supposed to hold my phone so I can film while I'm doing this and have my hands free, but I was just too excited about the rocks to deal with the camera. So all of these rocks were from the Bullseye area on the map, roughly, just to give you an idea. And there's just a lot of really cool patterns. Some of the banding and the eyes reminds me a bit of Wonderstone, but it's not exactly the same kind of patterns. If you've seen my videos before with Wonderstone, then you'll know that. But really beautiful, and as you can see, it's a glass-like quality. Just extremely high quality rock. Most of the pieces that I grabbed of this material were about the right size for my saw for me to cut. Some of them are quite big, and some of them are on the smaller side, and I will probably tumble those. But I'm excited to see how this material ends up looking. So definitely keep an eye out in future cut videos for some of this material. It's not going to be necessarily that big of a surprise since we can see so much pattern and color going on, but who knows, maybe there's some more interesting stuff on the inside. It just looks amazing on the outside though. All of this too is in a relatively small area, so you'll see the variety of material that is available, and I didn't even go to all of the dig sites. I'm definitely going to go back at a different time. I love the material there that has more of the white matrix. That's just beautiful. The white and the red, I really like the way that looks. I didn't find too much of it, but I did find some. And then there's some purple in this Bullseye as well, and I didn't find a ton of that either. Now we're going to take a look at a couple exceptional pieces. So I love the Bullseyes that we can see here. It's a little hard to make out, but they're actually lavender and purple. And then we have this really just deep, brilliant kind of pink purple color there on the end. And I didn't find anything else that looked like that. So I was definitely excited about this piece. There's some interesting stuff showing on that end as well. This one just had really high quality bullseyes. It was hard to see, but that top one actually has a bit of green in it, which was interesting. And then this one was just a unique piece all around with the purple and the way that it's swirled. Up next are the lavenders, and this is some of my favorite material. This is some of the stuff that I was using the hammer and chisel in the video to knock some of these pieces out of a ridge line. The lower right piece there is the one that we looked at in that video, and the slab on the top right hand we'll take a closer look at was one of the big pieces that came off of that ridge line actually. But I got a number of pieces that kind of fell into what I thought of as the lavender category. So here's a look at that big flake. It gets a little bit more substance down towards the right hand side. That's the side that I could see exposed before I smacked it, and I just thought that was a really cool one. This is also a nice substantial piece with a good thick part of the lavender color going through the center, so I think this will be a good one to cut. Zoom in a little bit so you can see that color and just how nice it is. There's some red going on as well. I think most of that orange-y brown is going to be on the exterior, but I'm not sure. Now this stuff might be my favorite material that I found there, and I'm not sure what it matches up to on the map, but I thought of this as the purple galaxy material because it reminds me of a galaxy or a nebula or something space related, and just really beautiful and striking in terms of the colors that are mostly deep purple with some orange and yellow and red going on. And we'll take a closer look here so you can get a better idea of what I'm talking about with the patterns. I mean, look at that. Look at the gradients of purple in there, and we've got red veins and red and yellow throughout actually. Over to this one with the exposed face that we can see here. It goes back for a little bit too, so I think I can actually cut this one to get more of that, but a red and yellow center that kind of radiates out into the purple, and in some places the purple is a really light lavender color, and in others it's much darker. Some really, really cool pieces here. As you can see, there's a white layer of maybe opalite. There is a lot of opalite in the area, and so it goes sometimes from a layer of that kind of material into the Jasper or the Chalcedony or the silicified rhyolite, whatever you want to call it or whatever it actually is. It's gorgeous. Here's some more pieces of it and some really nice purples. And this stuff has a pattern to it with a little bit of black going on, as you can see, like little black specks or marks almost that kind of punctuate throughout the purple matrix. And there's some yellow and orange, in there as well. This one you can see it gets up into a little bit of almost bullseye patterns towards the top, but then kind of settles into a galaxy starfield below. And this is a really big piece that I found, and you can see there's some green there, there's some pink on the white, and then you can see the purple coming through really nicely in the spots that it's exposed. And this is a pretty big piece. I'm excited to cut this one. On to the greens. So So much variety, really, really cool. There's a whole area of greens. So at the end, you'll see some other rocks that I found because I hadn't found this green area yet. So I was searching for any greens that I could find. But away from the other colors and probably where it was labeled on the map that said greens, there are actual greens. And these range from the very dark and seemingly completely solid green color like we have towards the top center, down to green and white, green and orange, green mixed with opalite. On the far left specimen there's actually some crystallization that's going on the top, which is kind of neat. We can see there's white veins running through some of it, but some of it's just solid green and really cool. Some of it seems to be mixed with opalite. My favorite pieces are the ones that have multiple colors going on, of course. So the green with the white or the green with the orange and white, really the more colors the better, but the green and white is a very nice contrast. Same with the green and yellow, green and orange. The piece on the left there definitely has a lot of opalite going on. That's the lighter colored material that's in that one. And with these ones, I'm excited to cut them. And some of them are small enough that I'll definitely be doing some tumbling. But overall, I was pretty happy with the green stuff that I found. It was the last place that I stopped because I just saw some green rocks as we were getting ready to leave. And I was like, maybe that's the green area. And this is what I was able to pull from there. So pretty happy with the variety. Okay, this next group is made up of two primary materials, or at least that's how I thought of it. On the top two shelves, we have cotton candy material, or that's how I thought of it. It was pink and purple or pink and white. And I thought it was really neat. Haven't seen a ton of material that was like that. The stuff on the bottom has some deep purples in it. Some of it is opalite with veins. We'll take a closer look at that here in just a moment. This is a larger piece of the cotton candy material. You can see some really nice pink and blues and purples there. This one just has beautiful blue and pink that really just pops. I really liked the banding on this one. I'm not sure how it's going to look further in, but hopefully pretty cool. This one had some really nice pinks and purples. You can see the layer is not super thick, but I've got a decent cross section of it. Same with this one here, some really nice purples and pinks in that middle-ish layer, and the top of that one is actually pretty interesting too, but some really cool colors. Now let's go down to the bottom, and this is where we have some of that deeper purple and the opalite. We can see some pink on the top of that one and on the outsides of these ones. And then this is getting into more of the whitish purple opalite with some of the dark veins running through it, which I thought were pretty cool. These pieces are probably more like tumble sized. This one here is a little bit bigger and has a really nice contrast with the purple, white, and pink red. Very cool. Next up are the reds. As you can see, I didn't take a ton of red material, and that's mostly because I find a lot of red stuff as it is, so I don't really need more of it. But some of this was kind of neat. A lot of this was red jasper, or what looked like red jasper, but mixed with opalite, so it's a little bit lighter material. I'm not totally sure how it will cut. Some of it was a bit crumbly and broke into pieces, like you can see in the piece on the bottom left there. So we'll try to tumble those and see how it turns out. But I loved the bright red material, of course, and some of it looked very cool. So we'll see how it cuts and tumbles. This last group is stuff that didn't really fit into any of the other categories, and green stuff that I found in some of the areas that weren't labeled for green. Like I mentioned before, I was just looking for anything that stood out, and so there wasn't much green in those areas, and when I found a little bit, I just tried to chase it as much as I could. So these were the specimens that I found that were green from the non-green areas. And then some of the other stuff we see is some darker splotches like the ones in the upper left hand, some kind of purplish opalite with the larger piece that's next to them, and then some lighter colored material down in the bottom right, but still really pretty. And that's it for the Gemfield review. I would highly recommend going if you get out that way, or if for any reason you need to pass through the middle of Nevada, definitely stop by. Lots of cool material, as you can see. Thanks for checking this one out. Let me know what you thought down in the comments. Can't wait to hear it, and I'll see you next time.